Listen, I don't think you understand, okay? We were not prepared for what this was going to turn into.
Jim's leaving already. Let's go. See this thing? We're about to race it at Tucson.
And I can tell you that I certainly wasn't ready for what this trip turned into. You know, but to really tell you the story, we kind of have to go back to the beginning.
Good morning, welcome to day one of Poverty Tour. So we're in the van, 89 Chevrolet G20 van, with the bed in the back, all set up and everything. It has been slept in. I was talking to this guy here. This is Whiskey Gas Garage on YouTube, and was suggesting that like we could do a weather report every day for Poverty Tour.
This shouldn't last long, so let's skip ahead.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let's go look and see what's going on out here.
Now, this is the part where you kind of started to get a sense of how big this was going to get.
So this here is, this is Whiskey Gas Garage's Chad.
This guy, by the way, is as solid as they come. We may talk about this later in the video, but he came with every tool you could possibly need. He came with a generator. He came with a welder. Every night he would station himself like at a Walmart or at a parking lot somewhere that was nearby where everybody could meet. And then people who had problems with their cars could go to him and they could sit by his bus and he would give them the tools that they needed to work on their cars. And every night I saw somebody working on their cars with tools that he provided. I mean, he was absolutely phenomenal. He fed people. He housed people on the road that decided that one guy decided his camper trailer that he was towing wasn't worth towing anymore, and he left it in Oklahoma City. He spent the rest of the trip on the bus. And he bought an RV. That's where the Winnebago comes in earlier. And then there were two other guys that stayed with him. He fed people. I mean, what more could you want from a guy who's taking a bus on Poverty Tour?
This is his K car, a Plymouth, which I'm kind of a fan of Plymouth anyway. I overheard him say earlier it has 63,000 original miles on it. He and I are going to race.
This, by the way, did not happen, but it's really more about the fact that we didn't know what we were doing than anything else.
The deal is, I told him that I was going to lose to him no matter what he was driving because I'm driving this thing. So anyway, let's go look at the other cars. The Dodge Monaco. This guy's got a YouTube channel. I haven't watched it yet. This is the turnout. We got Suburbans, pickup trucks.
See this guy right here in the black pickup truck? He becomes really important later on in the story.
There's a Dodge Challenger.
Yes, I know. It's a Charger, not a Challenger. I'm a Chevy guy. Give me a break.
75 Chevelle. 67 maybe? Ford trucks and cars. And everything.
No, this guy's cool. His name is Jay. He's got a YouTube channel called Irish Outlaw Garage. You should go watch him.
Well, we got a hell of a turnout so far. There's probably about 30 people here, maybe 40.
How about 100? Because it ended up being 100.
All kinds of stuff. Chevelle's, Mustangs. I'm the only van. Well, no, there's one other van.
Clearly, my camera skills are seriously lacking.
The sun's in my face, so.
Sure, the sun.
I'm not going to be able to show you guys, but I've met Dalton, met Inevitable Jim, met Buff, met Whiskey Gas Garage, so.
Name dropping anybody?
Anyway, we're getting ready to head out, I think. About 15 minutes or so.
This is where I get to talk for a minute at least, because we rolled out, and there's video of us rolling out. It's not mine. It's on the Facebook page for Poverty Tour. Just go look up Poverty Tour 2025, and somebody somewhere has shared video of us rolling out of the mall in Joplin, Missouri. So, at this point, kind of what happens is we all roll out. We all get stuck at stoplights. We're on Route 66. We're heading into Kansas, basically. Dalton's wanting to go and stop at Pitcher, Oklahoma to get pictures, but we all kind of get separated, and I get separated, like, I'm all the way at the back of the group, okay? And I kind of get separated pretty much from everybody pretty quickly. And I ended up following some guy who was from the Miami, that's the way I was told to pronounce it, Miami, Oklahoma. And I think he had just come up basically to run with everybody down to Miami, and then after that he was on his way. But I was following him, except I was following him home. So, to that guy, I apologize if I creeped you out at all. When I finally did realize that you weren't going to Oklahoma City, I kind of just turned off and went my own way. But by then I was completely separated from everybody. I knew that the next stop was probably going to be Afton, Oklahoma. I didn't get any video in Afton, Oklahoma because, in all honesty, I didn't find it that interesting. I waited around for a little while to see if some people showed up. Whiskey Gas Garage took off in the bus. I was supposed to be following him. I didn't follow him. I ended up getting separated from him. And what I ended up doing instead was stopping at a gas station in Veneta, Oklahoma, and spending a nice hour talking to a couple in a 1970, blue 1970 Chevrolet Impala. And they were wonderful. I believe the guy's name was Gary. They were wonderful. Talked to them. And about the time I was leaving, by the way, most of us were running CBs. My CB started to crackle, and I looked down the street, and there was the group. And so I tucked in behind them, and I followed them all the way down to Claremore, Oklahoma, where we made a stop at a Whataburger. And again, it's posted on the Poverty Tour 2025 page that we basically shut down the Whataburger, which was a lot of fun. I've never done that before. Glad to be been able to do that. And then we all climbed back in our cars, and we headed out. Now from here, Dalton went from the Whataburger to a gas station about 2 miles up and pulled into the gas station. And of course, everybody else followed him, except for two people. The first person was Buff from Buff's Garage. He just kept trucking. The second was the guy in the black pickup truck. And this is where it kind of starts to get interesting, at least to me. So this is us driving through Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, what happens after this is we end up in Sapulpa. And I think Buff got a little lost. So we go to make a turn to go up a street in Sapulpa, and Buff is in the lead. And he goes up over the hill, and he's gone. The guy in the black truck is Ray from Wrenchingwithray. And Ray goes to make a turn on to the street and go up over the hill, except as he begins to turn, his truck just cuts out. And it's just the three of us traveling together. Buff's gone, which means I'm the only one behind Ray. Ray ends up breaking down, sort of. He manages to get it across the street, so I pull him behind him and immediately start asking what I can do to help. I will tell you that I will never forget the moment that I met Ray. Because Ray is somebody who's just genuinely himself and very kind. And his wife is a wonderful person. I met the both of them. I helped them kind of get moving a little bit, or I stuck around. Ray kind of fiddled with it. He got it moving again, and we started down the highway. From here, he broke down again about 10 miles away. And this is where you kind of start to pick up on the camaraderie of the event. So, I don't know how far we were from Joplin by this point. We've gone through Tulsa. We're in Sapulpa. And he breaks down again on the side of the road. I'm leading him because I'm trying to follow Route 66, and he doesn't know where he's going, and I've got the command center, as everybody ended up calling it eventually. But I had my iPad in a holder attached to the dash, and I've got the radio, and so Ray can hear me, and he can just follow me, and it's fine. But he breaks down. I see him break down behind me. He calls me on the radio. He tells me that he's stopping. I say, okay, so I go to spin around, and he ends up rolling up right where I'm at. And I kind of hop out to see if I can help him. There's not a whole lot he can do. And then this is the moment that the camaraderie really started for me. Because three guys pulled over and came running up and asking if there was something that they could do to help. And we all kind of stood around and watched Ray replace his crank position sensor because he's running an LS in that old OBS truck. And then, for some reason, Buff ended up behind us, and just as Ray's finishing up, Buff shows up. And makes a joke about he's always in time for when the work's done. And, of course, everybody laughed or whatever. Now, from this point, we get moving again. We go on down the highway a considerable way, and I'm following somebody else. And I look behind me, and Ray's not there. And so I had Ray's number. I text him. He says everything's, there, broke down again. But some other people have pulled up to help. So just keep going. I'm just like, all right. So I just kept going. And I ended up following Buff almost into Oklahoma City. And then I ended up running with a guy named Johan, who had the Suburban, the 2002 Suburban with the numbers on the back. And if I find a good picture of it, I'll put it here so that you guys can see it. And we finished running all the way to Reno, Oklahoma. And that is when day 2 started.
Hey, it's Mike with Wandering Iron, and we are on day 2 of Poverty Tour, and I thought it might be nice for us to have a weather report for the day.
Nope.
So, day 2 of Poverty Tour, and I'm not videotaping because, in all honesty, I'm not really having any issues myself. I am following a guy that has had a number of issues today with his oil pan.
Okay, it's important for you to hear this part of the story, okay? Because we talked about the camaraderie on day 1 and how I really started to see it then. But the camaraderie on day 2 was off the charts, okay? Ray, with Wrenchingwithray, unfortunately, we were on Route 66, which was very bumpy. And Ray's truck has about 6 inches between the bottom of his oil pan and the road. And we got to a bridge where the asphalt had kind of been pushed up in the center of the bridge. And Ray hit the center of the bridge and literally shattered his oil pan. You saw the picture. So, he immediately hits the shoulder. And because I'm following him on day 2, because his wife was like, "You're following us today." And she's a nurse, and they kind of have that tone, So I'm following him. He hits the shoulder. I immediately pull past him and hit the shoulder. And there is nothing we can do except tow him to the next town. And like I said, this is really where it starts to pick up. A number of people stopped. And finally, a guy named Kai in a yellow F-250 from 78 Super Cab pulls up. They strap Ray up with this truck, and they take off with him to Hydro, Oklahoma, which is our next stop. When we get there, and I'm hopefully including pictures right here so that you can see it. When we get there, somebody has made arrangements with the lawnmower service state place next door to Lucille's old time gas station, which is where we're stopping, where we're supposed to be stopping. They've made arrangements for Ray to be able to get his truck into one of their bays and start working on his truck. And let me tell you, this was moving. Nobody left. Ray's truck is down, needs an oil pan, and does anybody leave? No, they all wait. They wait until we hear Ray's truck fire up. It took them an hour to replace the oil pan because 10 people swarmed on Ray's truck after they cleared the lawnmowers out of this place so Ray could work on his truck. 10 people swarm Ray's truck, and they start working on Ray's truck, and they get it done in an hour. Somebody came from, I don't even know where, with an oil pan, and they swarm on Ray's truck, and they get done in an hour. And when Ray's truck started, the whole group of people, nearly 100 people, 70 to 100, somewhere in there, started clapping and cheering for Ray and the fact that his truck was running again. It was one of the most moving moments of community that I have ever experienced in my life. And I posted about it to the group. If one's down, then we're all down, because that's the way it felt. Now, Ray's luck, well, it didn't last long. So, we're still on Route 66. We bypass the entrance for I-40. I think he's pretty close to the ground. Maybe we ought to get back on I-40 and just go to Amarillo. But Ray's leading the pack at this point. And we go about 9.1 miles from where he replaced his oil pan. He hits a bump. He bottoms out. He cracks his oil pan. And it begins leaking oil all over the ground. Now, at this point, we're also running with a guy named Timmy, who is, by the way, awesome. Him and his wife both. Timmy immediately kicks into high gear, talks to Ray. He goes to the O'Reilly's to get JB Weld and oil for Ray. Comes back, gives it to Ray. Ray gets underneath there, pulls the oil pan down, puts JB Weld all over the crack, cleans up, puts JB Weld all over the crack, puts it back together. Is it leaking oil? Yes. But is it leaking fast enough that you can't go down the road? No. So, we put it together, we head off down the road. And, so we've been, just making our way that direction. And I seem to be his shadow, or at least his wife wants me to be a shadow at this point, which I'm cool with. Van's doing good. We're sitting at 50 PSI on oil pressure. About 160 on the thermostat. I'm pretty sure I got a stuck thermostat stuck open. And all the fluids checked out this morning. Rear end checked out last night. Checked the fluid in the rear end last night. And just, van's holding her own. So we're doing good. But by the way, I'm drinking while I film this because I'm an adult and I can do what I want. From Wrenchingwithray on YouTube. That's his C10 up there. Fortunately, we've gotten separated from the group because Ray's had a number of problems with his truck today. So. But we're cannonballing now on I-40 out to the Big Texan for dinner tonight. So when we get there, it'll be worth it. So hopefully we'll run across the group here the next hour or so, or we'll get there about the time they get there or something like that. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Anyway, from that point on, everything kind of goes well for Ray because we're running on I-40. And although I-40 can be bumpy, it doesn't really bother his oil pan too much. So we roll on for a little while. And based on what I could see on the Facebook group, we probably would run into the group in Shamrock. So we jump off in Shamrock. I get a picture of my van in front of the Conoco station. Nobody's there. So we get back on I-40 and we cannonball the rest of the way to Amarillo. We get to Amarillo. We pull into the Big Texan, which is where we're going for dinner, and we all kind of start to mingle. Jessie, Dalton's fiance, she kind of prepares the Big Texan for what's coming, because we're taking anywhere between 60 and 100 people to the Big Texan for dinner. This is where I'm going to show a picture, so you guys can see how many people we actually took to the Big Texan. And I've got to go back and find the photo credit for that picture, because I think it's Dalton, but I'm not sure. Anyway, we have a wonderful dinner. One of our guys takes the challenge, doesn't finish the challenge, and we end up heading on down the road and then that's kind of where we disperse. A lot of people were staying in the hotel there. Whiskey Gas Garage was at the local Walmart. I went off to who knows where at that point. I'm starting to get a little confused because I am drinking still. Oh, that's awful. I mean, I'm not going to waste it, but still.
Waste not.
So anyway, now we're in Amarillo. We get up the next morning. We meet up at the Cadillac Ranch. And we start out from Cadillac Ranch, heading west, obviously, because we're going towards Grants, New Mexico. We stopped in Glen Rio for pictures. It's a fantastic time. As we're leaving Glen Rio, you may see this in Dalton's video. He asks if I could help him install radios in Steve's car. Steve is from Build Season, so we stopped at Tucson to do that. Then we stopped in Klein's Corner for gas. And then we kept moving straight through Albuquerque. And we get to the other side of Albuquerque and we stop at a little place called Something Burger. Starts with an L. No, I'll figure it out. Hold on. Anyway, we get done eating at that place and we hop in the cars and we begin to take off.
I'm trying to get a picture. Jim's leaving already. I'm behind Ray, so I gotta go. Well, we're rolling out now, so let's go.
Oh, sorry, I had to pee. Where was I? Alright, so from Laguna Burger, figured it out. We drove pretty much straight to Grants. We were about an hour away from Grants at Laguna Burger, so we drove straight to Grants. Went to O'Reilly's. Dalton got some parts. Steve got some parts. I didn't get any parts because I didn't need any parts at that point. And then or at least I didn't think I needed parts at that point. Turns out I did, but that's, part of another story. So, they went to their hotels. I went to the Whiskey Gas Garage Bus to hang out. And that's when Justin, who has a little CJ5, came and asked if I wanted to go rock climbing with him in his CJ5. And I'm like, yeah, of course I want to go rock climbing with you in your CJ5. That's going to make a friend of mine really fucking jealous. Let's go.
Well, it does. It tells me it's charging, but then it doesn't.
Is that what it's doing?
Yeah. Dalton was over there changing his gearbox on his.
Oh, yeah? Ugh. Best thing to do is to just drink it, really. I need some water, too. Chase it with a little water, it goes away. Alright, anyway. So, we get done rock climbing, I go back, I get in the back of the van, I pass out. Which is what I'm going to do in a little bit. And, the next morning we get up, and we have the big morning meeting and everything, and Dalton tells us he's changed the route. We're going to go down through the El Malapai, and we're going to head down into Salt River Canyon and everything. Now, this is where things really just kind of clicked, right? This is where we all kind of began to understand that this trip was a once-in-a-lifetime trip. That it didn't matter what we did, we were never going to be able to recreate this experience. Because the people that came together were just right. The scenery was just right. The weather was just right. I mean, it was a gorgeous fucking day. And we ended up passing through the El Malapai and just absolutely in awe of the scenery. So here in this video, you can see the mountains in the background. You can see the Cummins-powered square-body dually that's following me. Jerem Feist. Great guy. Fantastic guy. And I'm doing this voiceover because the sound of the wind blowing past the phone is just really, really annoying. And here, of course, is another couple of really great shots of the El Malapai and the 77 Trans Am running in front of me. So this is a view of the Cummins square body behind me, and then a wonderful view behind Ray's truck, and you can see all the cars kind of outlined out in front going up the hill. And then we'll cut to a view from behind of all the cars behind me. And I was like square in the middle. And then all of this is basically just riding along. This is coming up on the Salt River Canyon in Arizona. So the next clip is going to show you basically like the scenery of the Salt River Canyon. And I could tell you right now that one of my favorite memories is watching Dalton's Cadillac kind of cut along these cliff walls on this road. And it was very 1970s. And I told him later on, I said, I kind of want to go back and get B-roll, you know, of just the Cadillac just cutting along those roads, you know, and then all you hear is the exhaust note from the Cadillac, you know, cutting along the roads and just making it like a really cool 1970s shot. So, which of course we didn't have time to do, but it would have been really nice. But the Salt River Canyon is absolutely gorgeous. You could see against the far wall of the canyon. There for a moment, you could see the road that goes back up the other side. And let me tell you, the van was not happy with that road. After Salt River Canyon, we stopped at this abandoned resort, which is somewhere along that highway. And some of us, the main, Dalton and his main crew went off into the abandoned resort to explore a little bit. And I was, like, not going to be left to, like, sit up front. So I went back there with them. Apparently, at one point, Zane from Rusted Nuts Junkyard, I was back there kind of driving a little quick, you know, spirited, as you will. And Zane's like, Big Mike's not afraid of anything. And I was just like, yeah. And so I gunned it. And I hit a bump. And apparently I caught a little air with the left front tire of the van. And so I went further back. Jim was further back. And I parked the van next to his wagon. And we kind of hung out for about an hour or so. And then we went on into was it Globe at that point. And then just like that, we were in Globe, Arizona. And there was a wonderful dinner at Denny's that night. And we had some wonderful conversation and everything. And we got up the next morning and we went to the off-road park near Globe, Arizona. It's south of Globe, Arizona, I think on 77. And so we went down there. We met up. I tried to take the van a little off-roading, but I got to the other side of the hill and was just like, no, we're not doing that. And turned around and came back. And then after that, we just kind of rode into Tucson. And I didn't take a whole lot of video of that because, honestly, I had taken a lot of video from the last 4 days. And I just kind of wanted to enjoy the ride. So from Globe to Tucson, it's really just me enjoying the ride. And we were all talking on the CB. We were having a blast talking on the CB. Jim finally got a CB the day that we were going through the Almalapai. And we kind of forced it on him. Me and Jerem forced the CB on because we were like, no. You need to be a part of the conversation that's going on. And I think he was glad that he was. Now, in Tucson, when we got there that night, we kind of, the owner of the track gave us like a big area where everybody from Poverty Tour could park and kind of party. So, Whiskey Gas Garage, Chad, parked the bus in such a way that we would have shade in the evening. And we just sat there and partied, pretty much. The rest of the night, I was sleeping in the van, of course, so when everybody went back to their hotel room, I hopped in the van when it was time to go to bed and passed out. Everybody kind of just sat and partied and had a good time. The next morning, Jim was the first to show up. And he was like, hey, Big Mike, can you move your van? And I was like, yeah, no problem. Well, I get in the van, and I go to crank it. And I'd been having some trouble with the starter, and I knew it might be going out. And so I'm cranking it, and I'm trying to crank it. So I crank it, click, 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 and finally it fires up. And I'm like, all right, I probably have a starter problem. So I jacked it up, pulled the starter out. Justin, the guy with the CJ5, cleans it all up. And before he cleans it up, we did a test on it. And it seemed a little weak. So he takes it all apart, he cleans it all up and everything. We put it all back together, do another test on it, and now it won't spin at all. So he opted to volunteer to take me to get a starter.
So definitely duct tape.
Yeah. And the Charger.
Yeah.
And the Challenger.
Yeah, they're all worth $5,000, I think. Right?
I know, yeah.
I said that loudly so that guy can hear it.
Yeah. Rock get parts. Justin, by the way.
Now at this point, Justin's like, hey, would you mind going to look at a Winnebago with me? It's a 69 Winnebago Chieftain. And I've been talking to this guy on Facebook Marketplace, and he wants like $1,500 for this thing, and it runs and drives. And if he sends me the address before we get done getting your starter and get back to the track, would you go with me? And I'm like, fuck yeah, well, 69 Winnebago, I'm on it. So, off we go. Oh yeah?
Three wide money, right?
I suppose. It's all that YouTube money, you know?
So we get there, right? And this thing is Arizona cheap. You know, these RVs are probably like a dime a dozen down there or whatever, because everybody bought RVs and they just all went to Arizona because it was a dry climate. And this one is pretty cool. It's not nice, but it's cool, right? And it can be nice, and Justin's going to make it really nice. I know he will. But the thing is, like, it's wore out, you know? It's wore out. It's old. It's a 69. I mean, we're talking about something that's over 50 years old. And we're having some trouble getting it started. Finally, we get it started, though. And once it's warmed up, the thing runs flawlessly. I mean, so smooth. I mean, take a look. Hello. Welcome to beautiful Tucson, Arizona. I'm in a Winnebago. It's not mine. This was a good idea. It runs good. It's not mine, but it runs good. So I drive this thing, right? 30 miles back to the racetrack. And it runs beautifully the entire way back to the racetrack, okay? And of course, I get back to the racetrack and I gotta ham it up. So I'm hanging out the window. I'm laughing, having fun with everybody. Finally, I park it. And I step off of it. And the first thing I say is, it's Justin's problem now. And I walk away. Right? And everybody laughed. I thought that was funny. And Justin did, man. He took care of that thing. Cleaned it up. Went to Walmart. Got a mattress for himself so he could sleep in it. And God help him. He successfully drove that thing back to Illinois. And posted about it on Poverty Tour. So that was an awesome little side adventure. But now it was time for the main event. It was time to go racing. See this thing? We're about to race it at Tucson. This van is going to go down the track at Tucson Dragway now.
Couple more pickups. Looks like that left lane one a little rusty.
I was wanting to get paired up with Zane from Rusted Nuts Junkyard. And unfortunately, we didn't know how like the pairing worked out. And I got paired up with, what's his name? He's from Snagtown Garage. I can't remember his name right now. Hopefully I'll remember it later. But he's from Snagtown Garage. Great guy. And I got paired up against him and his wife's Jeep. And let's just say that for my first race ever down the track in anything, I did okay.
action in that left lane in the right lane at 9:30.
Oh,
16 and 19 seconds.
Needless to say, I lost that race. The guy from Snacktown Garage had a reaction time that was way higher than mine, and my reaction time was about 9:30. So I knew I needed to improve that, and in the next race I did.
Good morning from beautiful Tucson, Arizona. Look at where we are. That's right, we're in line to drag race the van again this morning. So this has been an incredible trip, and I will tell you guys all about it at some point in this video. But we're gonna race these guys right here in the Corolla 10, so that you know it is a Toyota Corolla 05 with a C10 body grafted on top of it. It's fucking amazing. It's one of the best cars out here. But we have had a blast on Poverty Tour, absolutely the best. We've all been running CBs. We were all talking the entire time, and all of us have said the same thing, that we have memories that will last us a lifetime. This has been a magical trip, a journey of a lifetime, and one that we hope to repeat somehow. So trying to recapture it was going to be fun. But anyway, stay tuned. I'll put the run from today in, and from yesterday.
Left lane 3013 and that right lane 71. A 240 and a 327 are those reactions of the line. That's 60 foot and a 30 and 30, 3049 and 3006. At that 8th mile, gonna pop up as a 12.3 and a 12.8 at 57 and 55 in the left and right lanes. And that quarter mile, that van gonna do 90.
Well, we won that race. We were matched up against Jim Drury's Corolla 10, which is this truck right here. So I ran a 19.252 second run at 71 miles an hour. My reaction time was 0.240. Yesterday was 0.930. I was 2 miles an hour faster altogether, but somehow 0.2 of a second slower. So yeah, but we won, which was fine. Jim knew we were going to win anyway. He knew what was going on, and we were just doing it just to have fun. So anyway, let's go out and look around.
So at this point, it's kind of getting, later in the day. I did get a chance to go out and look around at all the cars. JD actually helped me fix my starter. So, as well as a couple of other people. Austin Ferbert was underneath there. And then there was another guy whose name escapes me who helped me take it out. But I was getting ready to put it back in, and JD comes over and he goes, "What you doing, Big Mike?" And I said, "Well, I'm putting a starter in my van." And he goes, "Do you want me to do it for you?" I was like, "Do you want to put the starter in?" And he goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, you can put the starter in." So he put the starter in, and then I let him drive the van around, basically, and we looked at cars, so, and everything, and that was kind of cool. I didn't videotape that. Either before or after that, Jim put me in the Merchuro, which you just saw doing burnouts, and I think I'm going to be in his video, because he and I went out, and he was videotaping me as we were looking around at the cars and everything, and we were just talking or whatever, so that'll be interesting. And then came back, and it was time to line up for Battle of the Beaters, so that's what we did. All right, we're in line for Battle of the Beaters. There's a lot of cars here. Let me show you. So this is everything right here. This is Zane, Rusted Nut Garage or Rusty Nuts Garage or something like that. He's a pretty cool dude. Got to know him. I'm gonna go in behind him or something like that. Wrenchingwithray is right here. He's awesome. Just up there is Dalton with Pole Barn Garage, and Jim's not in here. The inevitable Jim isn't in here. Next to me is Jay with his Chevelle, and he's with I think Irish Outlaw Garage. And all of us kind of came together on Poverty Tour, and it's just amazing. So hold on. So anyway, so we're in line, and you can see the number of cars that are waiting behind me, the number of cars that are waiting in front of me, and we are in line to be seen one at a time by David Freiberger. So, and then get judged, get roasted on our vans. So, yeah, well, get roasted on our cars. I'm getting roasted on a van. I'm the only one. I think I'm the only van. Well, there are 3 vans here that are racing. There's 4 vans here altogether, but I think might be the only one here that's in line. But probably not. Well, I was hoping we'd get video of talking to Freiberger and Derek, but of course they just waved me on. They took one look at the van. They were like, "It's stock. He's in. That's it." I'm like, and I went on, and then they talked to the guy right behind me. So anyway, it is what it is. But we're in. We're gonna race it again. We'll see what we do.
Far lane, 455 Oldsmobile in the F85. In the close lane, you've got the X-Body Pontiac Ventura. They actually did make a GTO in this platform. The Nova GTO, so to speak. I think.
So if you look to your right there, you're going to see the Merchuro, and that's the Mercury that Dalton rebuilt into like a Ranchero, and it's got a pretty. It's a pretty comfortable car. I got to ride in it. It's very comfortable. It's not fast, but unfortunately, it was fast enough.
Clearly, the Oldsmobile is going to mosey his way down before the Pontiac. How quick is the Junkyard 455? 1504, 91 miles an hour. And the Poncho 1701 at 81. Oh, the van and the absolutely hideous Ranchero thingamajiggy chingus. Apparently, Derek used to own that car in the far lane. He sold it to this guy for $800, and there's a YouTube channel that cut it into a Ranchero. And how humiliating is it to get treed and perhaps beat by a van? No, I think the Ranchero's going to drive past the van and smoking a lot while doing it and sounding terrible and looking hideous. And bam, hideous thing, 1936, van 2035.
Now this is the race that got covered by everybody. So I've got 4 different videos of this race that were given to me by people, and I want to show them all. because it was so nice of people to record this race for me and then send me the videos so that I could share them and put them in this video. And unfortunately, I think I'm just going to share one. And it's going to be the one where everybody was cheering me on because I like that video the best. So, here it is.
There's a YouTube channel that cut it into a ranchero. And how humiliating.
He's gonna win! Go, Big Mike!
Oh, never mind.
So, after the race, I lost it, which I was fine with, because that meant I could go back and drink beer with everybody else, which I was wanting to do. So, after the race was over, we went back, we had a good time, we hung out, we partied, we ate, you know, and we had a little bit of a bittersweet goodbye, because we knew that we had started out this trip not knowing each other at all. And by the end of it, I mean, you can hear in that video, we cared about each other like we were family. We had faced odds all the way across the United States, some of us more than others. And even though I had to replace an oil filter under the van, which JD did it for me, thankfully, in order to fix a little bit of an oil leak, and a starter, and I had a stuck thermostat, you know, in the van, stuck open, which it still is. I've got to fix that right now. But we promised each other that we would keep in contact. And almost immediately, within the last few days, I have added probably 30 to 40 people to my friends list on Facebook. Because we really did intend to basically stay in contact with each other. So, to say that it was a good time would be an understatement. To say that it was a great time would be an understatement. To say that it was one of the best times of my life, it would be an understatement. I know that everybody else said it was the best trip that they'd ever taken. And I don't think any one of us that finished and then left Tucson Dragway that night or the next morning didn't agree with that statement. We knew ultimately that we would never be able to recreate this trip. It was so perfect. And I am very, very happy that I got to go on it. And I have made some incredible friends. And some people who are being very supportive of me and me trying to kind of branch out and do exactly this, which is to make YouTube videos. And so I am in awe of the people that I met. I am in awe of the tenacity of the people that went on this trip to drive cars as old and dilapidated and, you know, kind of strung together with extra parts, junkyard parts, to drive them across the country and then drive them back, you know. It was a privilege to be on this trip, really. And I gotta admit, the fun didn't end for me after that. I took off to Chama, New Mexico to ride the Cranberries and Tall Scenic Railroad. And that is a video for another time. But, honestly, Poverty Tour 2025 was an amazing trip. And probably one that can never be recreated. No matter how hard we try. And I know that every one of us that got to go felt incredibly lucky that we got to go. So, after that, I went to bed and I woke up the next morning. Just like that, it was over. So, that's a wrap on the Poverty Tour. The van did an amazing job. We still have 1,100 miles to go. This guy's going with us. This guy's going with us here. And I'll have a whole story for you guys.
here in a little bit. So that's it. Peace.